Welcome, bienvenidos. This is Roxana from MetamorphosisRox, the place to be where you want more than tea. Now, if you are not familiar with the channel, let's start from the top, shall we? I don't do drama. I do commentary. I've been doing commentary for 5 years, and if that's something that interests you, then stick around, check it out. If you like it, hit the like button and consider subscribing. Now, we do this little thing called spoken essays, which is usually I pick a topic at random and I'll go into a little rant. Not necessarily a long rant, but just a rant. And not necessarily a mean rant, just trying to put my thoughts in order about a particular topic. And this particular one has been bugging me for a while. And I am going to state my case, and then you're going to tell me if I'm right or if I'm wrong. Now, whether you call it toxic positivity, new age mumbo jumbo, self-help, positivity, new philosophy, whatever you want to call it, there is a group of people, Bob Proctor, Tony Robbins, Ian Lobensand. Oh God, there's so many of them. Let's put pretty much everybody that was in the Secret movie. They all do this thing. Gary Vaynerchuk comes to mind, where they talk about the hustle and the grind and how you can keep yourself positive and motivated and whatnot. There is one expression that they've always used, and I've always had a hard time explaining to people why I don't agree with it, mainly because the examples that I was using were my personal examples, and of course that's a great excuse to say, well, it works, you just don't see that it works. But today I'm going to give you some examples that I think we can all agree prove my point. And the expression in question is, how you do one thing is how you do everything, or any iteration of it, any variation. So here's the thing. According to the logic of this is a matter of attitude and your predisposition and your positivity and your good thinking and whatnot. But I have to disagree with this in so many levels and for so many reasons. And I'm going to start from when we go to school when we're kids. I don't know about you, but there were classes that I really didn't care about. I was in Catholic school, which means I had to take religion. And when the religion classes were about, well, technically religion, I really didn't care that much. Now, when they got into the history surrounding the time frame when said Bible book was written or whatnot, that was really interesting to me because I was into civilizations and the mythology of the Greeks and the Romans and the Egyptians and all this other stuff. But when it came to the actual religious stuff and the Ten Commandments or whatever, I was out. I was really good at Spanish, English, and social studies. I was okay with science depending on which science it was. If it was biology, I loved it. If it was anything else, it was too much for my brain. And the same with math. So here's the thing. If how you do one thing is how you do everything, then why did I have straight A's in some classes and then I have B's and C's on others? And I'm pretty sure that's not a unique experience because we all went to school. Well, most of us went to school. So, yeah. Have you ever thought about that? I mean, I went with every intent. First of all, I would get blackmailed by my dad that if I got good grades, I would get $20 at the end of the semester. So you know I was going for that $20. And remember, this is when I was a kid. $20 back then was a lot of money now. So my idea of going through school, because that was my quote-unquote job, was making as much money as I possibly could and doing as well as I could so I would get them $20. And I always managed to make it. But it was a big struggle for some classes. And yes, I did get B's and C's later on in life. I was able to turn it around by the end of the semester. We got, I think it was 4 times a year we got grades. And I would always end up like at the last minute getting the A's so that it would balance out to A's and B's at the end of the year. But it was a struggle. And I approached every single class the same way. Now, if I would have approached every single class the same way, then I would have had even worse grades because the classes that I didn't like, I had to put a lot more effort into, don't you think? Now let's go a little further down the road. You got your first job. You go to work the first day. You fall in love with your job. And I realize this is not everybody's experience, but hear me out. You love your job so much that you put an extra effort into your job. You go early or on time every day. You stay an extra 5 minutes almost every day. You make sure you cross all your T's and you dot all your I's. Does everything in your life has the same outcome? Let me be clear. I know a lot of people that are workaholics, me included. I was a workaholic when I was in the workforce. And I can tell you from personal experience that my job was great and I had excellent reviews from my bosses. But my family life sucked because I spent more time at work than I did with my family. And I have people that live with me. But the people that didn't live with me, like my parents and whatnot, they barely saw me. So, no. You don't do everything the same way. Is that wrong? I don't know. What is your outlook on life? What do you want to be known for? What is your important things that you want to make sure that they're taken care of? Because personally for me, putting money on the table was the most important thing because I had a kid. Nothing else mattered. And I understand that some people think that you can have all the things in your life, your finances, your education, your personal life, your work life, everything in the same. No, it isn't. And we all know that's not true. It's kind of like that myth of women can have it all. Yeah, we can have it all at different times in life, but not at the same time. I can have a family, I can have a job, I can have a fulfilling life, but I have yet to find somebody that can tell me that they got all of them at 100%. Even the people that claim that they do. Let me give you another example from something that we all see all the time. Sports figures, sports athletes. Peak condition sports athletes. How many injuries do they get? Is it worth your injury to keep playing injured? And I'm not saying it's wrong or it's right. What I'm asking you is, does that sound like something you want to do with your life? People who are incredibly strict about their work life and go around cheating on their spouses. How they do one thing is not how they do everything. And that is my point. There is not one person on this earth that does everything the same way. They don't put the same effort into everything. You just can't. Now, do I know people that are healthy and have a good career and have a relatively good life in their personal life? Absolutely. But do they do the same thing on everything? Do they have the same attitude towards everything? No, they don't. They put priority on their children when they're younger because that's when they need to mold them, and then as the kids get older they can let go of the reins a little bit and they can focus more on their career, and so their career gets better. Or they go back to college after the kids are in high school because they actually have the time to dedicate to an education, and then they get the better job. But this whole idea that how you do one thing is how you do everything, no, I'm sorry, I don't believe that's true, and I want you to prove me that I'm wrong. I would love to hear what you have to say about this. Please hit that like button, consider subscribing, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.